Viewed through the lens of thermodynamics and electrical engineering, Scripture reveals itself as a literal map of human consciousness. The origin of this map is the 112 1-4 singularity, the seal. It functions as an unmeasured, invariant source that generates the binary nature of the universe while remaining indivisible. This singularity projects two distinct fields of operation: the D10 matrix, representing physical particle state matter, and the I9 matrix, the unseen field of probability waves. Because these two matrices occupy the same cosmic architecture, they exist in a state of structural tension. The D10 physical realm and the I9 wave realm exert a constant demand on one another, seeking a point of interaction. Human consciousness occupies the exact center of this tension. We are placed within the interface between physical mass and unseen probability, waiting for the system to achieve structural resolution. To understand how the soul manages this tension, we look at a p-n junction diode. The D10 physical matrix provides excess donor carriers. The I9 unseen matrix provides acceptor holes. Where these two fields collide, they create a threshold. This region is high in resistance, blocking current from flowing between the physical and the unseen. Electronics calls this the depletion zone. Surah 1850 identifies this resistance as the function of Iblis, the necessary impedance preventing a chaotic discharge of energy. Without this impedance, the system would short circuit. Iblis provides the reverse bias, the structural no that makes a future measurable yes possible. The human being is suspended within this high resistance zone. This is the cave of verse 1810, a state of total latency shielding the soul. Within the cave, the human seed exists in a womb-grave fold. It is a state of quantum superposition, waiting in the dark before it is registered by the system. The resistance of the Iblis barrier is a mathematical necessity. It creates the condition of free will, ensuring forward current is generated only through an intentional change in bias. Systems in latency eventually reach a critical threshold. The thermodynamic pressure within the cave demands a state change. In verse 1819, the sleepers are asked, "How long have you remained?" This inquiry acts as a quantum measurement event. Before this question, the soul's duration is an uncollapsed probability wave with no fixed coordinate. The 1819 query forces a state selection. The wave collapses, and the soul is localized into a single, sharp particle point in D10 physical reality. This collapse marks the awakening. The soul is no longer a latent wave. It is an active particle that must now traverse the circuit. Once measured, the soul leaves the potential of the womb grave. It is now a defined entity, and it must choose a topological direction. This awakening leads to the 3420 bifurcation, the moment the trajectory of the soul splits into two diverging topological paths. Many carriers fail to clear the junction. They attempt to find stability in the material world, falling into the tagut trap. This results in the 8713 state. It is a permanent reverse bias where the soul is preserved as a sign but remains functionally dead, neither living nor dying, but simply suspended in the barrier. The second path prioritizes the source over the material. It moves toward the ultimate structural test of the soul's integrity. To pass, the vessel must be purified of all internal resistance. Verse 7:14-3 describes this as exposing the mountain of the ego to the direct light of the source. The exposure shatters the mountain. The I must be structurally annihilated. Only when the mountain becomes dust can the vessel be reborn as a transparent conductor, capable of carrying current without loss. Any ego remaining in the path acts as impedance. If the mountain does not shatter, the system defaults into the frozen illusion of the tagut. Shattering the ego prepares the vessel, but the circuit still requires a specific command to begin the flow of light. Verse 1912 provides the command, "Take the book with strength." In Arabic, this strength is quwwa, the structural force required to shift the system's bias. Gripping the book with quwwa introduces a forward bias voltage into the soul's p-n junction. The depletion zone collapses. the barrier blocking the physical and unseen disappears, allowing a brilliant surge of light to flow continuously through the circuit. This bridges the D10 physical matrix and the I9 unseen matrix. They are no longer separate fields, but a unified, living topological loop. Gripping the book with strength acts as the activation that turns a static soul into a living electrical traversal. This state of perfect conductance is the Ahmed node, referenced in verse 61:6. Ahmed represents the ultimate mathematical station where the human vessel conducts the word of the source with zero resistance and maximum praise. The scope of this mechanism is universal. This exact 2-3-7 circuit governs the formation of the heavens, the beating of the heart, and the rotation of the cave. It is the scale-invariant architecture of everything. The memory of your origin was never lost. It was preserved within the circuit, waiting for you to apply the correct bias. The womb grave is finally opening. The two topological paths are defined. The physics of your soul are waiting. The question remains, when will you activate 1912?